Hey everybody, this is the latest, and I guess we'll maybe call it the social distancing series, where I'm going to look at some stuff on the older Losis that I was curious about figuring out and the differences on because I never owned these vehicles when they were popular. I kind of skipped them over. I was in college or working and just never paid attention to it, was out of the whole hobby. And I want to see some difference in these in the wheels. This is the triple XS. This is the street weapon. Well, actually, this is a rally weapon, which is practically identical to a street weapon. And this is another triple XS I had. In fact, I didn't even realize I had two triple XSs. That's pretty bad, I know. But this is the original box for the rally weapon. You can see the wheels that are on it are the same over here. This is one of the XS Touring sedans that I've got, and this is the other one. This is the original box for it. I don't have those wheels on any of the chassis. This one I got, it had this style of rim on. I don't know who made that. This one is a speed one. That was over on this one over here. But on the store, oldrac.com, I've got a bunch of wheels, touring car wheels for Losi, and I really didn't know the difference between them. So that's why I'm kind of doing this. You're going to learn. I'm going to learn. In fact, I've shot this video now. This is the third time I've shot this kind of sequence because I realized stuff as I was going along that I had no clue. So 7805 is one of the sets we have. There's 7809, which is 4 for some reason. Then you've got the 7801, and then the 7802 is the exact same thing, just in yellow. Then we've got the 7803. That's what we have, I think, in stock. I think that's it of the different varieties we've got. There are other ones, of course, that Losi made over the years, but that's just all we have left in inventory. But they're very similar, and I wanted to know what makes them different, unique, what's going on with them. Because if you look at this 4-pack there, man, that looks pretty much identical to that. So what's the difference between that and that other one? So let's take a look at it right now together, and we'll find out, hopefully. So right off the bat, if you take off the wheel, say for this street weapon / rally weapon, you will see that, off the wheel now, the hex on there is smaller than the hex on the triple XS. So that is definitely different. I got out the calipers and I measured. Pick up the wheel there. And this is a 3/8 hex standard. And then this is a metric 12mm hex. Now, we have in our store, and I've sold them a lot over the years, and then people kept buying them up, but now they don't seem to buy them as much anymore. I don't know what the popularity was for there for a while. But we have the A3260, and this is a wheel hex drive standard and metric. And my thought was, oh, this is allow you to run on your street weapon 12mm hex wheels. Shooting this video, I took it off and I realized, wait. These are kind of like the double X front hubs and wheels. You can't really put on a small little hex on that because of the fact that it's made out of metal. So I guess these hex adapter things are just so that you can run the smaller hex rims on the triple XS if you wanted to. I think that's about it. I think that's really the only way you would be able to do that is with that method. So yeah, there goes that theory, I guess. So if you're going to run it, if you want to run the older rims, you got to do that on that. But you can't run the newer ones on the front here, it doesn't look like, because you don't, unless you replace this axle here, you're not going to be able to do it. So let's take a look at the wheels then. So the 7805 appears to be the smaller hex. The 7802, of course, is the smaller hex. 7801. This one is definitely the bigger hex in the 7809, 24mm. And then we've got the 7803, which says something about offset, extra offset. We'll figure out that is. That one is also running the smaller hex, the 3/8 inch hex. So now I'm gonna put the smaller hex and on this, and we'll play around with stuff and just see what happens putting like this wheel on this particular car and see what the difference looks like. So I'm getting ready to put that new hex on here, and here's something I never realized on the touring cars, the Losi ones, at least the Triple XS, they have a smaller pin goes in the axle than on the off-road vehicles. I absolutely never realized that. Never raced the touring car stuff really. Yeah, so that pin is definitely smaller than you would have on the off-road wheels. But see it, tell you, I'm learning stuff right here. If you don't mess with it, you really don't know. You don't take a look at it close. So yeah, they both are using a much smaller length pin than you would use in the off-road rear wheels of the Losi stuff. So that definitely surprised me. I don't know about anybody you. If you're into this touring stuff, you already knew that. All right, let's go over some of these rims here quick and see if we can determine what they're all kind of for in some ways. The 7801, 782 are for the original Street Weapon. The 7803 is for the original Street Weapon, or I'm sorry, not the original, the Street Weapon IWC. Turns out these wheels here don't look to be for the original Street Weapon. These are this extra offset ones here. So that is a question mark. The original wheels and rims for the Street Weapon were, what are they? A7720, which is just like a set of tires and rims, which I think the rims are the 7803. I'm sorry, not the 7803, the 7801. I think they're the same one and everything, but I don't know for sure. I don't have a set of original ones. I can't tell you. This is definitely the 7803 with the extra offset with some HPI tires now that I look closer at it. These are HPI tires. So I don't have the originals to kind of compare, which is kind of a bummer. But I don't care that much about touring car anyway. But yeah, that's kind of a bummer. I don't have that so I can get a compare. So we're going to try out these different rims on the Triple XS and see what happens. And I put this one already on here. This is a 7802 that was a yellow rim that was dyed black, but it really came out more dark purple. Needed probably some more time in the black if it was going to take any more. And this is not the extra offset like we were messing with on the Street Weapon or the Rally Weapon over there. And it looks like it is just a little too uncomfortably close to the ball cup right there. If I can do this without creating a shadow, or we can get a good shot on it. But it's really close to rubbing here on the rim, and in fact it maybe does kind of rub, and maybe down here on the shock end. Whereas this aftermarket rim that we've got on here is definitely well clear of the ball cup. It's out a little bit further, so this is inset just a little bit more. I'm going to put on now the what I think are the A7803 that's supposed to have an extra or some sort of offset to it. We'll see how those go on there instead. Here it is again with the extra offset rims, and at least I think these are, I'm not really noticing a huge amount of difference. Maybe it is out just a little bit further. I'll have to look at it again. Yep, after taking a closer look, definitely down here where the shock end is, that is definitely closer on this than it is on the other one. So the offset on that is definitely noticeable. You would definitely want that other one rather than these on a Triple XS. Okay, so I opened up that package of those brand new 7803, the extra offset, and yes, that's definitely what we were working with that were connected to that Rally Weapon. This is exactly what you would want. So I'm going to guess the Rally Weapon, yeah, maybe had these as a wheel. No, wait, didn't have these. Let's go back over the box. Rally Weapon. There's the wheels. Those look like... No, not those for sure. Yeah, those look like the original Street Weapon wheels. I don't know if that's true or not. Maybe there's something with an extra offset. I'll have to go back and maybe look at all my historical information on Losi on different wheels. There may be some other ones that are like this that have the extra offset that the 7803s have. I'm not sure. And let's not forget, like I mentioned at the beginning, the 7803 is what the Street Weapon IWC had. So later Street Weapons had this extra offset in the wheel. So I'm going to guess then that later when the Triple XS came out, they offered these hexes for the Triple XS so you could maybe run the type of wheels that the Street Weapon was running before. Because like I said, you can't put on a Street Weapon these hexes, because the larger 12 millimeter hexes, because of the fact that you would have to replace this whole axle, which RPM came out with the kit, if I remember correctly. We used to sell those really well. I'll put that a picture or a link to that in here later that shows that. I think I'm right, but I could be wrong. So now we'll open up the 7805 and take a look and see what the difference is on this, because this is still using the small hex, but it's obviously a newer part, you know, newer header card, but using the small hex. Let's see what happens with that one. These are the 7805, and they fit just fine on there. No problem at all. So those would work just as fine, and these have the smaller hex once again, the 3/8 inch hex. So you're good to go there. You can run those if you want. So that's the 7805 7-spoke sedan wheel white. One last comparison, the 7809 24 millimeter mesh racing wheels. Looks to be pretty much the same as the other ones, the extra offset wheels that we were trying. And looks identical to that third-party one as well, pretty much. Not a significant difference. Just wanted to see in comparison. Now you know, now I know. I don't really have the right tool for doing it, but using the end of the calipers and trying to eyeball the level where the hex starts out to the outer side of the rim on both the ones with the extra offset and the old standard Street Weapon things, it looks to be about 0.050, round in there somewhere, inches of extra offset. Not a whole lot, but definitely, as you can see from the results in the earlier stuff, that it's enough to get the clearance you need. If you didn't do that, you're probably going to have to come in here and move some material off the ball cup here. And this is, if you notice too, this is in the outer hole on the hub. If you had it on the inner hole, you're definitely going to be rubbing. Let's see this other chassis. Where did they have it? They have it mounted on the outer one as well there, so maybe it wasn't as common to use the inner, or they have the inner one as well. Maybe it's not as common to use the outer hole on these, but if you wanted that option, you were kind of screwed then, I guess. And then this is using the outer hole on the arm, so if you did kick that into the inner hole, you'd probably be okay. So it's not unreasonable to say you could use these Street Weapon rims on your Triple XS. You're just gonna have to do a little work to make it fit, and you may not want to do that. So getting the Street Weapon rims with the extra offset, the 7805 and the 7803, would be a better thing to do. So what about the front of the Triple XS with those same rims trying on there in the hex? Well, it does kind of rub. It looks like a little bit on there. Wouldn't be the best. So the offset ones would definitely work, but not these. And just to confirm, yep, with the offset ones, it's just fine. So there you go. I bet you thought we were done, but no, I have too much stuff and too much free time, apparently. I definitely have too much stuff because I don't know that I have two triple XSs. So I tried those wheels on the Double X buggy, because the hex on the front of the Double X buggy is the same as the Street Weapon and the Rally Weapon. But unfortunately, I mean, you can with the hex in the back, you can make those wheels fit on there on the back, but on the front, the axle is really a screw, and that is a smaller diameter than what's used down there on the Street Weapon. And so it kind of works, but you really, yeah, I think you'd need some spacers on the end of the axle washers to kind of kick this wheel out just a little bit. This is even the one with the extra offset. And the problem is it does kind of rub there, and it does kind of rub up against the spindle and everything on this as well. You need some, and you have plenty of screw space on there. You could make it work. You just, like I said, you're going to need to get some washers to kick that wheel out just a little bit further so it doesn't rub on things. And you may want a washer on the other side of it too as well to kind of help keep the wheel centered as much as possible on that screw, because that screw isn't really sitting on the sidewalls of the hub of the wheel because it's smaller diameter, and you might end up mounting this wheel on kind of crooked or lopsided, so then when you're driving it around it's kind of going like this as it's driving around because it isn't perfectly mounted straight on the axle. So yeah, I don't know if that's achievable or not, but if you're wanting to have some fun, you might be able to do something with that. Now you know. So I'll show you there. I think the wheel's rubbing up against the back behind that hex there, but maybe if you put some washers on that screw in front of that hex, you'd be able to kick that wheel out just a little bit further and not have an issue. But then you're kind of leaving not much hex for that wheel to kind of really mount on. So I don't know if it's worth it or not, but if you're bored, you could give it a go.
It's like probably the worst mold maker we ever worked with was probably our best mold maker.
Charlie?
Not because he could build good molds, he built kind of shitty molds. But the guy was super clever.
He was fast.
He could solve just about any problem.
He made anything.
Yeah, it's like I would go to him with new designs, and he would literally swear me out of his office.